Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Trekyards. He's Commander Cockings.
He's got a Foley.
And today we're returning to the 32nd century to take a look at some more Starfleet ship designs.
It's been a while, Stuart.
Today? It has been.
I mean, they've been on our screens for years, but we haven't necessarily had the deepest of look. Egos made some, but we've kind of reserved doing these episodes until we had proper reference, and we do now. So we want to give them the full Trekyards treatment, as the fleet is diverse and interesting and weird.
All of those things. Yeah, but today we're taking a look at the Eisenburg class, of course named after Aaron Eisenberg.
Of course, Nog from Star Trek DS9 and
yes.
Kazon Kid from Voyager. Great guy. We both knew him.
Yes, he was a good guy. But yeah, we're going to take a look at this very unique Starfleet design today. So,
yeah, this one's definitely memorable. Definitely distinct. First off the bat, on a scale of 1 to Starfleet, how Starfleet is this?
2.5.
Okay.
We got to remember, it's 900 years in the future. A lot's changed. So this might be a really amazing Starfleet aesthetic at that point. We don't know, but yeah.
Yes. I mean, this is of course the pinch of salt era. We aren't looking at a fleet of Connie Kitbashers or Miranda's basically a TOS, whatever. So different is okay, and that's the great caveat. If they can do weird things, as they clearly did, so we want to judge it on its overall design vibe and whatnot. Although that said, this one oddly has Discovery Season 1 style nacelles.
It's like in 900 years they decided, hey, that design from that crossfield, which never existed, those engines were pretty good. We should redesign those.
And it's not as if this wasn't launched in Season 5 and they took inspiration from their past ship that came in. This is talk about going, gosh, 1904 vintage something, and everyone's like, odd choice. I'm not saying it doesn't work with the design. Actually, it kind of does.
It does, yeah.
But certainly that seems like the designer maybe had no time and just thought, let's do something familiar. But I certainly don't
notice.
Well, but I do not see a logic, and they're not even advanced looking for Discovery. You could verbatim put these in Discovery and wouldn't think anything of it. So that's definitely a flawed. That said, they work quite well with the design itself, but that's just because they're not bad nacelles.
Yeah, they do actually. Yeah, and of course they are detached nacelles, which is not really a huge problem for future techs. I don't have a big issue with that, but
we're on the it's fine side. It makes sense to go new and fancy, and that's their gimmick. As is having low details. Now, of course, they have plating, but plating is dirt cheap. Actual design details, greebly details, and functional details, a lot of these ships, where the weapons, don't know. Where the escape pods, don't know. The list of what they don't have is longer than what they do have. Now, this, however, does appear to have, are you ready? 2 or 3 yellow bits. We have a detail, Stuart. We've got a new detail.
We also have pinstriping.
That is nice, yes. Because all these ships are kind of different that we've looked at in this era. All the rules can apply differently. As these might be, a 80-year-old ship versus a 20-year-old ship versus a 100-year-old ship. We don't know. But I will say, Stuart, I do like this design a lot more than some of the other ones. I think it has a lot of its own flair. At least my basic thought process of it. We'll see if I still fit well after this analysis.
Yeah, it's definitely better than the stapler design.
Yeah.
I don't know the class name for that.
Who does? But yeah, good view. Let's start going round. So the next view is Star Wars feeling.
Yeah, I was thinking from the front, it had kind of another sci-fi franchise look to it. I was thinking Star Wars, but I was also thinking it would really fit into some games for sure. It just doesn't have the Starfleet look. This view's interesting though, because you take away those nacelles, it could literally be a Star Wars ship, like a cruise liner of some design. It has that feel to it. But the interesting thing for me is that this secondary hull pullout is just the nacelle again, stretched out really with windows thrown in it. It's got the same fins on it. It's like they just morphed it in the program and then added to it, which I never noticed before until I saw this view.
Slow clap for you, Stuart. Everyone in the chat, clapping. I'm sure we'll be able to hear. Damn. I'm not against that in concept because it is cohesive with the design, as in you sense the three logical extensions. My only issue is that it's ridiculously far back, and clearly the windows stop at a certain point. Had it stopped there, it would be a far more balanced design. It does give it a lot of flair, having it be kind of like a fish with a giant tail. That's fine, but it's definitely too long. I remember the Eaglemoss version, the actual model is so small because the tail takes up a lot of the box. And even these renders, I can't get close enough because, of course, to get it all in, you've got to use the tail, and I'm losing a lot of the stuff. So it's definitely out of proportion. And yes, like you say, stretched. Wow, that's incredible.
This looks like a hood ornament. Like it could be a hood ornament on 1950s, car. It just has that feel to it, But I like it. I do like it looks very sleek and very dynamic, just sitting there.
And it's also not remotely a warship vibe. This is a super gentle capital ship. Like I said, it feels very much like a fish to me. It's very aquamarine. Now, of course, Starfleet, in the abstract of the show that we know, starts out human-centric, then adds Andorians and Tellarites, the base set, and then diversifies as we go. By this point, of course, this might be a Xindi designer that designed it in 2857, right? So the aesthetic is going to shift as new races come in and give their own thought. So it's not a problem, but this definitely feels like an animal, which is unlike anything else. I do quite like the random tri-impulse thing, because at least there are details, Stuart. We've looked at some of these and there's been a lack of detailing. I like the top grilling thing, the way it lights is nice. I like the back impulse thing. Like, this feels like it's got its own creative spark with small ones, which are just sort of shapes. So I appreciate that. And then you point out the nacelle kit bash.
I'm sorry.
No, it's great.
I also want to point out that the window placement on the upper part of that, so it's all like, which is oddly strange. I mean, there could just be different decks, but when you zoom in and take a look, it's like, I mean, it's just bothersome.
Now, you said oddly strange. Is there normally strange as well? And
there is
conventionally oddly and
yes, there's different levels of strange.
Well, I'm sure there's a close. I'm actually not sure, but I'm guessing there's a close up at some point to that bit. So let's look at the next view for the bottom. Yeah, cohesive. Probably looks a bit nicer given your brain thinks the nacelles are connected. I think had them been pylons, that would have been slightly an improvement, but
Yeah, I think some swept back pylons attaching those could look really nice. Like you could
and they can even sort of match aesthetically that bottom fin, that sort of harder edge with the that for the nacelle. So you have a tri-nacelle, and then that could be nice. I mean, you would not have ever said Star Trek. If you said this in a category with 10 people, survey said, I don't think a single person would say, well, the nacelle. Well, I mean, let's think of the nacelles of engine pods, right? Like, I think Andromeda would come up for this. I think Stargate would come up. Like, random Stargate, if I can't remember. I don't think Star Trek would be in the lineup per se for this. But it's a cool view.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that gives it Star Trek vibes, honestly, are, well, the nacelles, kind of, and also the markings, the pinstriping, and the colors.
But that's because we know what they are.
Yeah.
Next view is the front. That's like a Titanic sailboat coming at you.
Yeah, it definitely has cruise liner vibes to it. Like
it's a chill, just chill ship.
Doesn't feel like it would be a Starfleet vessel necessarily. It definitely feels like a luxury cruise liner type vibe. But I like it. This is one I definitely don't hate.
A ringing endorsement.
And there are some other ones that I do. But you got 2 photon torpedo launchers on the front, which are quite large if you take into account those windows that are right underneath it.
Game scaling.
I know.
Yeah.
We do like pointing out window scale. So.
I mean, if that is to believe, that's 3 tubes side by side, really, at least
300 decks.
Well, that's the other thing, right? This thing would have to be big. Which means the nacelles are giant, right? Comparatively. What is bemusing me in this is that they've got so the Discovery-ish nacelles, but it looks like they've been squashed so that the circles are ovals, and they added a hard edge point to the connecting side for some unknown reason, and there's not even designed greeblies that fit in there. The greeblies just sort of like curve slightly, and there's an empty space. Super under-designed. I mean, that's just like at least close that off and add another thing there. So it's like there's a reason for this, because a lot of designs you're like, oh, I understand why this is there for this. That I see no reason for that to be there, nor intentioned reason.
Well, yeah. Well, Discovery. I mean, the cells do attach at certain points, so I would love to see connection points that match those on the hull, where it could just like, and they lock on.
Right, orthographic, Stuart. Now this is obviously, I think, for me, a clear shape, unlike a lot of these other ones. But let's see how much I truly get the topography with the top view. Okay.
Again, it's a unique, interesting look that I don't hate. Although the top definitely does make it feel more like a cruise liner, because it looks like the Lido deck up there. There's a huge pool, you know. But yeah,
you're not even joking. If you took the pods away, that's either the top floor of a luxury apartment or a boat with a pool. Like almost any changes. Even the plating, you could argue someone could paint onto it. But actually, this to me feels artistically right. A lot of these ships aren't balanced in every view. This feels nice. It's very simple, but it's curved and nice. And honestly, the way optical illusion, right? The way the back tail goes far back doesn't feel as out of proportion here, but it's because the top pod sort of hides the amount it's missing from the bottom. So I'm intrigued. I wonder if they were using the orthographic as kind of a testament to like how far it should be. Doesn't translate to the other views, but this is I see the logic in this view. What do you think?
No, I didn't think it was too long regardless.
Hey,
but
fair.
It's just an interesting design, right? But yeah, this is simplistic. This is nice and aerodynamic. Not that matters in space, but we do mention that. That goes with our sleek vibe.
Definitely water dynamic, hydrodynamic.
Hydrodynamic, yeah.
And just a brief comment, guys. There are registries for this ship, obviously, normally, but we don't include those in these because some various reasons, just for a clean ship. So there would be some registries, but pinch of salt for that, guys. No, I like it. I have very little... I mean, there's not a lot going on, of course, but I think it's artistically right. So, will the other views work? Wabam!
Ooh, I really like the side view.
Well, that's the view I feel like I know from,
yeah.
Yeah.
The nacelles could stand to be a little bit longer. I wouldn't be opposed to that necessarily.
And, stretch them out to original... Because they've definitely been shrunk in post. They've definitely been like Z-axis down by 25% just to kind of...
Yeah. But I gotta say, that rear view definitely looks like some kind of futuristic robot. With like
yes.
Floating hands.
Well, with the tri-eyes that are watching you.
Yeah.
But the side view is great. It's super animal. Well balanced mostly. I like the curvature. They could easily have done the... So you got the curve of the main boat shape. They could easily have had that connect to the neck, or the tail, way further down and kind of change the shapes. By having it kind of come all the way back up and kind of waste that volume by literally cutting in. I mean, I'm saying versus having it be connected. It does create a flowing shape that's quite pleasing. Had you connected it, it would have had a lot more internal volume, but it does work quite well. I didn't expect that the back engine pod was on a slant downwards, as if it's like something on some sort of track and it's waiting to be launched. It's like, why is it? I mean, I like it, but I didn't expect that to be facing down slightly.
I like that suggestion that's on a track. It's like it can slide forward and look like really good up there. But yeah, I didn't think that either, honestly. It does look a little odd, but I don't hate it. Again, it's an interesting design choice.
It balances quite well, but you can tell that the impulse pods have been skewed angle-wise. They face backwards straight. It's just the pod isn't. Yes. Yeah. I feel choices have been made here. Actual creative, like, you know what I mean? Versus just like putting stuff together, which I like, right? It's a very broad set of designs for the 32nd century. Super, super broad. But let's look at some detailed shots, Stuart, which we can go through. Appreciate the Star Trek Online team who made, honestly, some great models. I really commend them. They've always upped the game every year, every decade. Big credit to them. Nacelles, I mean, they are as they look. Certainly could have done with some lights in the circle bits. I mean, they're calling out for more lighting elements, honestly. They're sort of bland otherwise.
But gotta give them credit for putting banners and deltas on there, like the Starfleet's thing. It's a nice touch. It should be bigger, I think, but you know, that's fine. But yeah, definitely, clearly Discovery nacelles, just modified slightly, and it is an odd choice for sure.
Yeah, it's one of those. It works, as in overall design. Do you wish that black segment was recessed with something in it? It's clearly a pod door open. There's something happening there. Do you wish it was inset with something, or is it kind of fine as a implied detail versus a detail?
I think it's fine. Either way, it would look good. I just wish that it matched something on the nacelle itself, so it could indicate some kind of docking. Like that's where the nacelles do dock if they need to. But other than that, I don't have an issue with it either way. With some greeblies and inset would be interesting, but I kind of like that as it is. So,
yeah.
But
But the next view though is the back with some nice and close up. Okay, they're not just facades, which is nice, and I really think that the hexagonal grilling is a really nice touch. It's unusual but nice. Not sure what it does. I don't know what a top-mounted glow thingy would do, but I like it. What do you think it does, apart from be a pool?
could be an emitter for something to create slipstream fanciness. I don't know. Notice a little detail here, a gold detail, like a transporter emitter. And actually, if you go back to this last picture we looked at real quick, right underneath the dark detail, there is another transporter type emitter detail. I just wanted to point those out, because usually you don't see that kind of stuff on all these ships. So it's just nice. And with it being near the nacelle there, maybe the nacelles are, include transporter tech in some way. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, given that the comm badge has everything, I mean, you can kind of stretch the line a bit. But things we never knew anything about these ships. Never went anywhere, never did anything. So to know what they can do. That said, I don't know if there's another view. Okay, not really. If you zoom in on the top bit where you talked about the windows being all... I mean, they're actually quite constructed here. They look random, but in the light of day, they're in some grooves that actually feel way more structured. So I thumbs up. Why not, right?
Yep, and it could just be different decks. So, I mean, that's fine.
Kind of like a train map for Underground.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Just the way it's structured. And I will say, we looked at some other ships recently of this era. I do think, and this is a very small positive, that back pod, the way the plating is, feels more intentionally designed texturing versus some of the other ones where they just kind of put plating on the ship. So I appreciate this a bit more, I think. Happy-go-lucky, right? It might just be the shapes work better with sort of plating. But I think this, I don't know if you'll agree, it just works better for the random plating than yeah.
No, I see what you're talking about. And yeah, I do agree.
Just a bit more design feeling.
The thing that is a little odd to me is those windows back by the engines. Like, this must be very safe engines. Plus, it's also a very huge ship. But to have it go that far back into the engine detailing,
especially as you got this giant fin right there, you could put a whole giant set of windows in, and it's actually very lacking of windows, right? Comparatively to where it could be, there's loads of empty space. But that's their aesthetic. Who knows? Next view though is the bottom fin with not a single detail to be found.
Striping. And it does say United Federation planets. Gotta give them credit for that.
You couldn't even put a shuttle bay or any sort of details.
That's one thing all of these 32nd century ships are missing, is like shuttle bay details and things like that. Now, again, 900 years in the future, shuttle bays might be well hidden, or just they transport the shuttles out. I don't know.
Yeah, that's safe. Yeah, for everyday operation.
Anyway, yeah, that's one thing I've noticed about these is there's no shuttle bay details or anything.
Well, also for so few details, which we've commended in the abstract to like TOS, everything's inside, but TOS is filled. The Enterprise is filled with certain details, and each one has a purpose. This is not filled with details, and therefore there's a lack of things. Now, I will say though, from a distance, that works better for these because you can't tell there's nothing going on. But these, when you get closer, you're like, it's just a big ship with a few windows. It breaks down a bit in terms of logic, but these are not designed for close-ups. We saw in the show, they never really highlight any design. They probably also thought they weren't strong enough to have those sorts of things. But yeah, right?
Yeah.
And next view is another front view with a bit more sexy lighting, just kind of like show how unique it is, because this is a weird one. But you know what? I like it. This one's always sort of, yeah, made some design enthusiastic in me think, yeah.
And as far as Starfleet goes, this definitely doesn't feel aggressive. If I was an alien species and this came up to me and I was looking at this front view, I'd be like, huh,
hi.
Okay. Hi, guys.
Hello, friend.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have an aggressive, mean vibe to it, so.
Versus like the Voyager J, which has it could warp in and just start shooting. This would just gently saunter in and you know, hello. Yeah, which I approve. It's nice. Yeah, okay.
All right, well, that's it for the Eisenburg class, guys. Comment down below what you thought about this design, or just any of the 32nd century designs. We have looked at quite a few, so if you're interested in any of our videos, just type in Trekyards and the ship name. You should be able to find a video on it somewhere. We're doing this for 10 years now.
And check in once we've done more of these. There'll be some comparative videos, actually look at them as a fleet and seeing how they compare scales and other things. So that'll be fun. We want to kind of give them all the time in the limelight and then break down the fleet, because they are, as opposed to all other stuff, they are real designs, doing really designed things. So let us know, is your favourite, is your least favourite, is it 2 Starfleet, is it 2 not Starfleet? Did you design it? Good, hi. We like it. And if you want to support what we do here, as I said, for 10 years, and hopefully many, many more to come, even into our 50th year, Grandad Stuart, or Great Grandad Stuart will be doing this, and this will be a great time. You can support us on Patreon or join the channel on YouTube. They are monthly, and they are the backbone of what we do. Or one-time donations via Super Chat, for example, are live. You say hi, Super Chat, boom, done. Conversation started. Or you can help us out via PayPal, trekyards@hotmail.com. Any and all are appreciated to what we do here and want to do here.
That's right. And the simple thing, just make sure you're subscribed and hit like. We appreciate you guys. So until next time, he is Commander Cockings.
He's got a Foley.
See you soon.
Bye, guys.